So Benson is one of my mentors. He's one of the most wise people I know. And what I love most about him is that he is so passionate about dismantling the poverty mindset that so many of us were raised with. Benson, tell us about yourself a little bit.
It's time to say yes to your future. Each week, CharlaA interviews business owners that are breaking the mold. Tune in each Thursday to discover how you can too. Here's your host, the Yes Lady herself, CharlaA.
Well, I want to thank you, first of all, for having me in the show and the rest of the crew that is making things work here in the background. I know the audience might not see them, but I want to thank everybody and the opportunity to be here. So my name again is Benson Agbortogo. I encourage people to stick with Benson. I was born and raised in Cameroon. So Cameroon is a West African country. Most people know Nigeria. So Cameroon is a neighboring country, to Nigeria. And I gave my life to Christ 1990, March 29, 1990. And when I gave my life to Christ, I became so zealous to help so many people get connected to Christ. Because at that time, I just felt like a huge burden left my life. And so I really began to go door to door, sharing my faith with people. As a matter of fact, that's where I really learned sales. Because most people would tell me, don't come back. And I would show up again the following day, just to talk to them. And, I led so many people to Christ. Because at that time, it was my belief that if people had a knowledge of God, it will help them to eradicate poverty. Now, I still believe that that's part of the equation. So that zeal, pushed me to, after high school, instead of going to the university or college, at that time, I went on to become a missionary. So I was a missionary in Nigeria for about 5 years. And during my last year as a missionary, I had about 32 pastors under my leadership, and these people kept coming to me each time we had a quarterly meeting, and they would always say, we have this project in our church, but there's no money. We have this project, we want to do this, but there's no money. So one day I just became so fed up, and this was the year 2000. I was so fed up with that whole thing. So I went to God. And I sat down, opened my Bible. I said, God, you really need to explain to me. When I read the Bible, I see that you are a rich God. The streets of heaven are made of gold. How come your people are poor? How can a rich father have poor kids? Explain, there's something not right with this picture. And that's when he said to me, he said, son, if you really want to solve this problem, I want you to go back to school and study business. And whoa, when I heard that, I said, get ye behind me, Satan. Because at that time, business and corruption were very synonymous. Now, if you grow up in Africa, it's difficult to do business without corruption, but it's possible. So I didn't want to be a corrupt person. And so the whole idea of business was not welcome. But I knew how to hear God's voice, and I knew God was speaking to me. So I said to God, all right, I'm going to take up that challenge. But you know what? I want to go to America, and I didn't have a bank account at that time. And here is a guy who wants to travel to America and study business, no bank account. Everybody started laughing at me except me. Because you see, when you have a dream, the only person who needs to believe in that dream is you.
Exactly.
Every other person's opinion is irrelevant. And the Bible says, if you believe, not if they believe, if you believe, all things are possible.
Yes.
And that is what catapulted my journey from applying to come and study. Actually, I wrote a simple email to somebody I knew at that time. He's of blessed memory now. And he sent me 2 colleges for me to apply. One is the King's College, New York. The other one was Naya College, both of them in New York. And I look at the 2 colleges, I'm like, you know what? I'm a king. I'm going to the King's College. So I only applied to the King's College, and I was accepted. And then they sent me the bill, $24,000, equivalent of about 50 million in my currency. Now, This is a guy who doesn't have a bank account, okay? So I get on the interview with a guy who was trying to enroll me, and I say, hey man, is there a way I can get some scholarships? He said, you know what? I'll look into it. The next time we're talking, I had scholarships that covered my entire tuition. My first year tuition moved from $24,000 to $850.
Whoa.
And I can tell you more, but I know we are limited with time. And that is how I went to the King's College. At that time, it was located in the Empire State Building. I got a business degree and then went on to get my MBA. And fast forward, I'm really, really passionate now to help not just those who are in Africa, but those who are in America, because there are so many poor people in America. I can't believe it. In fact, the first time I saw somebody begging next to the Empire State Building, which was my second day in America, I was so shocked. I was cleaning my eyes. I'm like, am I in America? There are beggars in America? Because everything we watch on TV in Africa was like this rosy. And I saw a beggar sitting next to the Empire State Building. I couldn't believe it. Then one day I left school. I was heading back home. I was living in Queens at that time. And I saw some men sleeping on the train. And I asked somebody, I said, why are these guys sleeping on the train? And they said they are homeless. I said, homeless in America? So I've gone through a lot of stuff to be in this place. And I'm really just passionate to help people come out of poverty because it can be done. So hopefully that gives people a little bit of a background of who I am.
It's amazing story, and I feel that you have so much to offer. There's a piece of your business that I would like for you to tell, a story that I've heard you tell before, and it is about how many people you were going networking, I believe. Do you mind just telling that little story, or is that? Yeah,
that little story is actually in this book, which is called The Business System That Never Fails. So this is actually my third book. My first book, incidentally, was written when I was still in college. My first book, anybody can pick it up from Amazon. It's called Faith and Development in Africa. Faith. F-A-I-T-H. Faith and Development in Africa. So I wrote that book with a professor who is of blessed memory now. And we really looked into the African continent and the role of faith in the alleviation of poverty in the continent. It took me, almost 4 months to put it together, but he was, really the brain power. And I know we traveled and spoke to presidents at that time in Abuja, even before I graduated from college. Then when I started the business, and the story is right in this book, I knew that God was important in running my business, but I became a little bit dumb to allow God out of the picture because I was so busy. So every day I'll get up and just go in the morning looking for customers. I won't read my Bible, I won't pray, and then I'll come back in the evening. I'm so tired. I remember one evening I came back, I was so tired. I was trying to read my Bible and I fell asleep on my Bible. And I woke up in the morning and said, oh God, I'm so sorry I slept on your book. But instead of reading it, I was gone again. There was this pressure of going to make it happen. So one day I was about to step out of my house and the Holy Spirit said to me, Benson, where are you going? I said, I'm going to network. He said, so you're going to network to get more customers for your business? I said, you know it. And then he asked me a question that changed my life completely. He said, Benson, how many people do you think I know? I said, like 7 billion people. He said, exactly. And I can introduce you to anybody I want, even without you putting your business credentials on the table. But you have to spend time with me. Here am I, leaving somebody who has a network of 7 billion people. I'm neglecting him. And I claim that I don't have time for him. But I'm going to network to get customers. That was really dumb. And when he asked me that question and we went through this conversation, I just realized how stupid I was. And there are many people listening to me right now, and including you. There are many Christians that when I talk to them who are in business, and I ask them, how much time do you spend with God before you go out doing your business? 90+% tell me they don't have time to spend with God. Isn't that stupid? How do you neglect the person who knows business more than all the professors in MIT, Harvard, Yale, or Princeton? The person who created the universe. You claim you don't have time to spend with him, but you have time to spend with others. It's like saying, I want to have a lot of money and I want to learn about investment, but I don't have time to spend with Warren Buffett. Isn't that dumb? Because anybody who wants to learn about investment, Warren Buffett should be the number one man on the face of the earth. So people who neglect God and try to do their business because they think they don't have time with him are really wasting time.
So Benson,
Okay.
You've given so much wisdom here already, and I love that story, and that's why I asked you to share it.
Wonderful.
And they need to get your book, Business System That Never Fails. We'll be right back after these messages with the Yes Lady.
The American business economy is positioned as it has never been before. Professional videography is a core element for attracting a higher level of engagement with the people group you need for significant impact. Now is your time to shine. My name is Bill Brock, owner of White Rock Films, and I invite you to a powerful opportunity in the marketplace, an opportunity to draw excited people to your events, an opportunity to showcase your ideas on infrastructure, an opportunity to become known as the industry authority and enjoy the associated benefits of a strong, influential brand. Video highlights, video teaches. Video puts a resistant market at ease, and video stirs the hearts and imaginations of your allies and strategic client base. White Rock Films offers full audio, video production for businesses ready to embrace the future, handling your project with professionalism, experience, and polish unheard of in the industry. My name is Bill Brock, and White Rock Films wants your business. See us online at whiterockfilms.com.
Experience the Zeal difference.
It's my favorite beverage.
I never thought nutrition could taste so good.
I know it's why I feel the best I've ever felt.
Wouldn't start my day without this beverage.
Every once in a while, a product comes along that's so innovative, it has the ability to shake up how we feel about nutrition. You're about to be introduced to a one-of-a-kind nutritional powerhouse. It's scientifically formulated and backed by a landmark clinical trial. This wellness product has created a movement that has already generated over $300 million in sales. It continues to change lives, create a thirst in people to be healthier, and is inspiring generations in ways other beverages simply do not. It's called Zeal, and thousands of people worldwide, just like you, appreciate that it takes the guesswork out of nutrition and why it's loved by so many. If you don't experience the Zeal difference in 30 days, we'll refund your money. Join us in this movement and experience the Zeal difference.
We're back with the Yes Lady with CharlaA with Benson Agbortogo, my mentor, and I want to encourage you to now share your wisdom about the number one thing that businesses can do to create profit.
Wonderful. Earlier on, before we went on a break, I was talking about people spending time with God. So the number one root cause of poverty is lack of quality time investment. Now, I'm a student of studying to eradicate poverty. I already shared that with you. It's my passion. So there was a time I really asked God. I said, God, you have blessed me. I have come to America. I have studied. I have a very successful and profitable business. And I want to go back and help people just like you instructed me to. But what is the one thing that if anybody in any part of the world needs to grasp in order to start coming out of poverty? And he told me the number one thing that anybody in the world needs to master is time. You see, the richest man in the world has 24 hours. The poorest man in the world has 24 hours. The oldest person has 24 hours. The youngest person has 24 hours. It is how we invest that time that really, really determines what we produce in our businesses. And most business owners that I've met, they are notorious in mismanaging their time, especially independent entrepreneurs who claim to, quote unquote, their own boss. Number one, they have no office hours. They always show up at any given time. There are times when they start their office, they come to the office at 8 o'clock. The following day, they show up at 9 o'clock. At times, they only start working at 2 o'clock in the night. At times, they start working at 10 o'clock in the night. And I used to ask them, I say, if you go to Starbucks, and Starbucks didn't have a strict time of open and close, will you trust Starbucks? Imagine you showing up at Starbucks, and one time you show up at 10 o'clock, they are closed. Then the other day you show up, they open at 3 or they open at 2. There's no regular time. It breeds confusion and lack of trust. But yet, that is how many businesses run their business. They don't have any specific time to open and no specific time to close. And as a result, their families are also suffering because there's this commingling. There's never a separation between business time and family time. And you have a lot of people who carry work from their offices back home. And while they are talking to their kids or their spouses, they are not really there because at the back of their mind, they are thinking about their business. And Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 says, there is time for everything under heaven. So if entrepreneurs will really learn how to invest their time properly, especially focusing on the most important activities in their business, and I consider that there are only 5 most important activities in any business in the world, that if they invest time there, they are going to generate enough income and enough profit to really run their business. So the number one thing that anybody should really, really master if they want to do well, irrespective of wherever they live in the world, is mastering the investment of their time.
And you have in the one-page profit map and your consistent profit planner, you've got a plethora.
Yeah, I give everybody everything that they need. Time has to be invested to plan. A lot of people claim they don't have time for planning, but they have time for confusion. Can you believe that? Because if you don't have time to plan, you're going to have time for confusion, and it's going to be more time. So in the book, I really laid out in terms of you need to invest time to plan first, because every building always starts with a blueprint. And when you start a building with a blueprint, you finish the building before you start it. And that's how God operates. God never finishes anything he has not started. He always starts at the end. So the book really lays it out, and it's very, very simple. And then it ends up with how to invest the time in what I call the 5 profit drivers. And then when you invest that time, and I can go on and name what they are relatively. The number 1 profit driver is lead generation. You have to ensure that you have leads in your business. Number 2 is conversion. You have to make sure that you have good systems to convert people from leads to customers. Number 3 is average number of transactions. You need to have good systems in your business to retain customers. Because if you have a diarrhea business, which means the customers come and they just go out, it's going to be very difficult, for you to run a good business that way. So you need systems to keep the customers in your business. Number 4 is pricing. That is something a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with. There's no pricing system. They only price based on what their competitor is pricing. They want to be low price, and a lot of people price themselves out of business. Not good. And number 5 is profit margin. And profit margin is really putting effective systems in place to make sure that you are managing your business well, so that at the end of the day, when you generate income, you actually make a good profit. So those are the 5 profit drivers that if anybody will invest their time well, mastering them, it'll be very easy for them to run a consistently profitable business.
Which is your
That
goal.
is my specialty. I specialize in helping businesses increase their profit consistently, because it's unnatural for income and profit to fluctuate, just as it's unnatural for your age and my age to fluctuate, just as it's unnatural for the calendar, to fluctuate. The calendar never fluctuates because it is always increasing.
ConsistentProfitSystem.com is your website, and I want to express that through your meetup group that I go to, you have explained these profit drivers, and you've got a system in a spreadsheet that you fill in 1 or 2 or 5 numbers and they just automatically fill. I think that it's brilliant and it's timely, and so many people need
Absolutely.
some kind of a system that once it's set up is consistent and will increase profits all along.
Absolutely. Of course, the business owners need to run it, because if you are not running it, it's not going to give you the results that you are looking for. But the one word that I keep emphasizing, and I want to keep emphasizing on it, is the word consistency. Consistency, and this is the last thing I really want to emphasize on, consistency compounds profit. Albert Einstein said compound interest is really like the 8th wonder of the world. And so if any entrepreneur really wants to compound their profit, they have to be consistent. And I've shared this story with you because I really did a theory to prove what I'm saying. So I run every day for at least 30 minutes to keep myself fit. And when I started running, the first day I went out running for 30 minutes, I ran a distance of 2.14 miles, okay? The more I continued running, after 90 days, I was already averaging about 3 miles by the same time. That is a little proof of the power of compounding. So when entrepreneurs do what they are supposed to do on a consistent basis, over time they compound their results. That is what I want to leave you with. Consistency compounds profit.
What business doesn't want profit? And why are we in business if we don't? So we can find Benson at consistentprofitsystem.com. And another fun way, every single day, you text a wisdom seed. It's just a small text of a wisdom seed. And your biggest saying is, what do we?
Keep breathing free oxygen. Because oxygen is free.
Oxygen.
And I always tell anybody, the day you receive an oxygen bill, send it my way. I'm going to cover it for you.
And they're brilliant, and they're fun, and they're short and sweet. So the way to do that is text yes to this number, 817-591-7486. That's 817-591-7486. Benson, it has been amazing having you, and I can't tell you how humbled and honored I am that you showed up for me and sharing your brilliance with my audience. And I know that you're looking for some businesses that need help. And you may not be looking for them. They might be looking for you. So I'm looking forward to seeing you again. And thank you for coming. I hope to have you back.
Wonderful. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. My passion is to eradicate poverty, and I want to thank the audience for their time, because it takes time to watch these shows. And I appreciate the rest of the team that are here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve. It is really an honor, and this is what I was born to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Benson.
Absolutely.
And we'll be right back with the split-second transformation after these messages. I'm Charla Anderson, the Yes Lady, with your split-second transformation powered by Zeal Wellness. Change your words, change your life. Consider asking a question when you get a little riled up sometime, when someone says something, or an attitude, or a belief that's different than yours. Consider asking a question like, isn't that interesting? You say the world is flat. I believe the world is round. Tell me more about how you came up with that belief. How can I learn more about that? How can I learn more about you? How did you come up with that conclusion? Asking a few simple questions instead of the angst, the fighting, the escalation, when you believe that your way is the only way, that your right is the only right. There's 7 billion people in this world. Every one of us has a little bit of a different belief system, and some of us a lot. What makes your way right and their way wrong. The way we can have a civil conversation in our world is to start asking questions and understanding that they're coming from where they're coming from for a reason. You don't have to believe them. You don't have to even acknowledge that they are right. You just give an opportunity to be heard and be respected. You can't change the world, but you can change your world by changing your words and changing your life. And I'm Charla Anderson, the split-second transformation powered by Zeal Wellness. Zeal is my nutrition beverage of choice, and I take it every single day. It gives me energy, it gives me vitality, it gives me focus. Charla.zealforlife.com, charla.zealforlife.com. Try it. I want you to feel great too.
That's all for the Yes Lady with CharlaA today. The Yes Lady with CharlaA is produced by the OBBM Network and available on demand at offbeatbusinessmedia.com. The Yes Lady also airs each Thursday at 12 and 8 p.m. on OBBM Radio, available on iTunes and offbeatbusinessmedia.com. Download the Offbeat Business app to get the Yes Lady TV and podcast on demand. To be a guest on the Yes Lady, call 817-808-7703.